Will the Borg and the Klingon bend to the will of Landru? What happens when you mow a duckling? Why isn't David Letterman on anymore? For May 22nd, 2015, from the stylish high-tech underground studios of Ribbit Media in surprisingly trafficy Cranston, Rhode Island, this is NewsUndies. For May 22nd, 2015, this is NewsUndies, all the news that shouldn't be news. Pig, sheep, and moose are off this week. I'm Howard Beale with these headlines. 24-year-old landscaper Jason Falbo of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, was charged with 9 counts of animal cruelty after he allegedly ran over a mother duck and her 11 ducklings with his riding lawnmower. The mama duck and 2 babies survived. Way to keep Florida classy, Jason. Saturday Night Live alum, Spinal Tap bassist, and voice of Dr. Hibbert, Harry Shearer, has announced that he will be leaving the now generational animated sitcom The Simpsons. Shearer, a member of the original core cast, plays some 23 characters on the show. I'm sure his departure will hardly be noticed. After 21 years on CBS, David Letterman has officially departed late-night TV. Letterman's departure comes after over 4,200 episodes, with bandleader Paul Schaefer at his side. Comedy Central powerhouse Stephen Colbert is set to premiere his replacement show, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, on September 8th. And almost nothing is known about it. Conservative radio talk show host Michael Savage, and let's pause for a moment here and consider that family names like Smith, Wright, Cooper, Carpenter derive from ancestral occupations. Anyway, Michael Savage has achieved escape velocity and left the gravitational influence of this thing we call reality. To give you an indication of how ridiculous Savage is, he takes what Alex Jones posts on his InfoWars website and triple distills it to maximize the crazy, then filters it through activated horseshit and ages it in eucalyptus barrels. Savage remarked that a memo from Gun Owners of America, which appeared on InfoWars, claimed that the pending Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal may include full implementation of the anti-gun UN Arms Trade Treaty and an illegal amnesty which locks in millions of new anti-gun voters. Savage remarked that he has no idea if such language is or will be in the final TPP deal, but predicted that the deal will give President Obama dictatorial power over America, calling Obama a sneaky socialist. Yeah, I wonder if Savage has actually met a real socialist and comprehended their agenda. Just for the record, Obama is only about 2 angstroms bluer than Nixon. And now an update. You may recall last week we reported on former U.S. Representative from Florida, Allen West, not to be confused with former Batman star Adam West, who's cool and self-deprecating. And his blog post titled, "More Ominous Signs of Christian Persecution." Well, it turns out the cashier, whom West identified as not Steve, at whose line stood a sign saying, "No alcohol products in this line," was underage and per Walmart policy is not permitted to ring alcohol sales. So, way to go, Mr. West. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. Let's rock. For the 16th, Robert Fripp. For the 17th, Sasha Alexander. For the 18th, Jack Johnson. For the 19th, Ho Chi Minh, dead. For the 20th, John Stuart Mill, dead. For the 21st, Jeffrey Dahmer, dead. And for the 22nd, Quinn Martin. He's dead. That's Celebrity Birthdays. I'm Paul Torville, and I'm done. Don't take any wooden nickels. Up next, uber stupid hyperfertility. Guns fix everything. And how to keep government hands off your Medicare. So, this has the NewsUndies 2015 theme image on it, right? Someday we'll look back on this and cry. That's on the front. And then on the back, it has all the segments in the show. And on the side, it's got the NewsUndies URL and the new slogan, the best kept secret in news. Shh. New shirt. Huh? And yeah. So go out and get some kitsch. Or don't, you know. The rent here is free. Texas. As Americans grapple with issues of police overreach, including brutality, excessive force, racial profiling, unjustified escalations, and so on, not only are the police tactics and the behaviors of individual officers coming into question, the equipment police use is also getting scrutiny. Over the last few decades, local police forces have expanded their acquisitions of what has traditionally been regarded as military hardware, including armored personnel carriers, bayonets, black or camouflage fatigues, and so on. Former U.S. Representative from Florida, Alan West, link below, thinks this is fine. He doesn't seem to have any problem with the militarization of local police. He cites Fox News as a source, so it's Michael Savage all over again. West seems to be complaining about President Obama trying to take over local policing. I suspect that if this had been an initiative of the former Bush administration, under the guise of preserving the liberty of citizens and reducing the interference of government in the lives of ordinary citizens, West would be squealing a different tune. West also seems to be making the argument that police need to be able to better the firepower they might possibly face in a standoff situation or other heated conflict situation. I wonder, though, if the Second Amendment protections he seems to cherish so much aren't a hindrance to effective policing, and if placing some kind of a limit somewhere isn't in order. If you're not going to limit the weapons individual citizens can keep and bear, then don't your police necessarily have to have superior firepower? Where does it end? Second Amendment advocates often squawk, "If you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns." But this ignores an important point. It fails to take into account that whether guns are outlawed or not, determined outlaws will get their guns. Somehow. The value of placing reasonable limits on the arsenal's regular law-abiding citizens can amass is that when people exceed those limits, then you have an avenue for prosecution. If you buy 30,000 rounds of 50 caliber BMG ammunition, that ought to raise a red flag. Ordinary patrol officers should not need bayonets, armored personnel carriers, and weaponized aircraft to issue speeding tickets, respond to domestic disturbances, or break up bar fights. The responsibility of a patrol officer facing armed threats beyond his or her ability to engage directly is to take cover, call for backup, observe, report, and, if possible, attempt to de-escalate the situation or neutralize the threat. The primary effects of military hardware in police livery are to intimidate law-abiding citizens and to bleed police forces of sparse resources. Procurement, maintenance, and deployment of military hardware is excruciatingly costly. Further, the organizational apparatus needed to keep and use such hardware, particularly if it is used infrequently, is burdensome, to say nothing of the expense of training personnel to use such hardware and remain proficient in that training. And then there's the 2006 FBI report, which warned of white supremacists infiltrating local police departments. Woo! Unfortunately, recent events show no evidence of that report's prescience. Jessa Duggar, third daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, or as she is known in the collective 5 of 19, visited that bastion of intellectual stasis, the Institute for Creation Research in Dallas, Texas, with her husband, Ben Seawald. They met with the so-called Dr. Jason Lyle. By the way, a pointer for Ben, you might want to just get used to the fact that you will always be Jessa Duggar's husband, never a person in your own right. Anyway, 5 and her Klingon companion arrived on Beta 3 in the C-111 system. Peace and contentment to you kids. The link below has a video of Ben Seawald being instructed on how to parrot the same old crap about "I don't have to prove God exists because look at the trees." Seriously, check it out. If you've never felt the need to judo chop a creationist in the throat, you will after 45 seconds of this condescending douchebag's verbal diarrhea. And now for the week ending May 22nd, here's Paul Torville with your exclusive Pastcast weather. Here's your exclusive Pastcast weather. In the Mid-Atlantic region, we had scattered thunderstorms and warm and sunny. It started with the scattered thunderstorms and then moved on to warm and sunny. In the Appalachian region, we had thunderstorms, then sunny and cool, and scattered thunderstorms again, because you got to come back around to the thunderstorms. You need those. And then in the southern Atlantic coast, down here, tropical storm threat, because why not? Yeah. I'm Paul Torville. That's your exclusive Pastcast weather. We'll head them off at the pass. Still to come, maybe they're red from yelling all the time. And Jeb Bush goes to 11.
Whether you prefer post-industrial vampire trance music or neo-gothic nerdcore speed thrash, Royal Records is the record store for you. Royal Records has albums and cassettes from many of your favorite artists, including The Letterman, The Righteous Brothers, The Insane Clown Posse, The Slipknots, and The 9 Inch Nails. No matter your taste, you'll find the records and tapes you love at Royal Records, Main Street, downtown. Open weekdays from 10 to 4.
The website Wallet Hub ran an analysis of a bunch of government data and determined, ready for this, by and large, red states are more dependent on federal tax dollars than blue states. So, the states whose residents are most noisy about "keep your government hands off my Medicare," the ones decrying Obama's so-called socialist agenda, are the states benefiting from that very socialism. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is hypocrisy. And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? John Ellis Bush, whom you may know as Jeb, has yet to make an official announcement that he is running for president in next year's election. Nevertheless, he's putting in a Herculean effort to make himself unelectable. While the younger Bush has, for years, worked tirelessly to cultivate the image of an 8-month-old baby in a 60-year-old man suit, he really is energizing his base by saying that, knowing what he knows now, he would have invaded Iraq in 2003, just like his brother did in 2003. Then he walked that back. Then he said he wouldn't answer because it would disrespect the troops. He wants to replace the Affordable Care Act with an Apple Watch app. And, just to drive it all home, he said Christian business owners should be allowed to discriminate against the gays. So, in the span of about a week, he's managed to alienate the poor, the gays, and veterans. Well, that's okay. They don't vote. Well, that's all for this edition of NewsUndies. If you see news that shouldn't be news, you can submit your story tips online at newsundies.com or on Twitter with the hashtag NUSTip. NewsUndies is a weekly show, but we'll be taking a week off. We'll be back on Friday, June 5th with fresh undies. If you like this video, please like this video. If you like the show, please spread the word. Got a question, comment, or suggestion? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, circle us on Google+, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, ignore us on MySpace, tell your friends, and buy NewsUndies Kitsch at newsundies.com. Thanks for watching. For all of us here at NewsUndies, until next time, I'm Howard Beale. After that, I might be as mad as hell and not taking it anymore. The new mugs drink much better. I just want to tell you good luck. We're all counting on you.